What's going on, and welcome back, all my Glip Glops of all kind, all my species of all kinds, space invaders, outer worlders, everybody, man, all my extraterrestrials, welcome back. This is another episode of Rickle Me Pick, and man, when I tell you, we got a doozy this week, man.
Ooh-wee.
Today, we introduced for the very first time one of the hosts of the Phantom Empire. You can catch him if you're into horror films, you're into Star Wars, you're into anything with a fandom in it, man. You can catch him, you know what I'm saying, on the Phantom Empire. If you're a Rick and Morty fan, you can catch him on the Rick and Morty fan show. Hey, man, it's a very, very special privilege to invite Kieron for the very first time.
What's going on? Yeah, I got this is my regular background if anybody wants to see, but yeah, I'm glad to be on. This is the first time I've been a guest on someone else's show. I'm on a lot of my own shows, so it's really cool for me too.
So that's a first for both of us, because I've been a guest on shows, and this is the first time that I'm on a show, or I invited somebody on my show. So yeah, there you go, man.
That's cool. It's been really cool.
For everybody.
It's been a really cool community. Like, we talk to you, we talk to the guys in the Rick and Morty pod. Kind of have a little going back and forth with them too. And like, yeah, it's cool community to be a part of, the Rick and Morty fan community, right?
It is. However, I'm glad you even bring up that point. I got banned from Reddit today, from the Rick and Morty group in Reddit. No hate, no harassment, no, just for posting too much. And then as soon as I posted the link for the show, they banned me. So I was just like, okay, that's cool. I'll just, go ahead and just promote my own. You know what I mean? So
yeah, join the club. I joined the Reddit and I was like, hey, this is cool. My first post was one of my old like a pre-recorded video that I did, a really short little thing. And I got kicked off on my first post. So I was like, yeah, fine, fuck you, Reddit.
Yeah, like on top of that, like I had to wait like three days before I could post and stuff. So I'm not a fan of Reddit right now. There's a lot of hate on Reddit, a lot of hate. I think that's like the hate empire. You know what I'm saying, for fans. I thought Twitter was bad at times, but nah, the Reddit, they holding the torch, bro. But fuck Reddit, man. Anyways,
I always think Facebook is the worst, like toxic for me.
Yes.
There's just a lot of crazy people on Facebook. And Twitter just has some weird stuff on it. I don't know.
Twitter does, but there's so many channels on Twitter, and if you use it the right way, it's so beneficial. Or you could just get completely lost in some random shit.
Yeah. I tried Instagram, but mostly I like Facebook and Twitter are easy to use and easy to grow on, and so that's my kind of.
I got like the Twitter just because I'm trying to do just like the Rickle Me Pick page and shit like that. You know what I mean? But other than that, man, it's like Twitter is very political. Very political with Twitter.
Yep.
So you watched episode 5, obviously. And what was your initial take on it, man?
You know what? I first watched it. I really liked it. I'm a big fan of the movie Hellraiser, so I like that. I love every time the Cenobite characters laugh and turn purple and everything.
Yep.
All that stuff was funny, and I liked the idea that Rick was lame for thinking that Jerry's lame, and it's just kind of like a commentary on everything that happens on Facebook. And if I came out here and said, you know what, Anna Originals is lame because he talked about this, I would be lame for coming out here and trying to diss your channel. Like, why do that? So being negative kind of makes you lame too. Obviously I'm here, so I don't think that, but the person who's being lame or the person who's coming out here and being elitist, like, what's this worse?
Yeah, the irony. And it was just complete irony. And that's how Dan Harmon even put it. He was just like, yeah, this episode is complete, irony. He was like, which Dan Harmon did a great, like you said, he did a great job playing the Cenobites. he says, what is it? Pain is pleasure, but too much pleasure is pain. You know, and it even said like on the chalkboard right before Rick, you know, erased everything. It was like pain equals pleasure, but more pleasure equals pain.
Yeah.
So
it's an endless circle. But yeah. So, but the weird part is, I went back and, you know, for my own show, I wanted to do like a top 10, and I had a hard time fitting any part from this episode in that. I think
agree.
number 10 on my list was there, but there's no really big tags on this one. Yeah. So yeah,
I think the message behind this one was a lot more solid than a couple of the episodes. But as far as just standout moments, yeah, I agree. I know you had mentioned like on your episode, man, that it was like it just happened so fast. The entire episode just kind of happened so fast. And I think that's a part of it not having no standout moments. To be honest, like the only real standout moment, in my opinion, would probably be obviously, you know, the B-side story had a lot more, you know, standout moments than the A-side did. But if anything, probably when they just lost it and they just started killing everybody in the pool hall. That's probably like the biggest standout moment, you know, I could think of, you know. But yeah, it just kind of just all went together, one big message and stuff like that, which I liked it, but definitely hard to, you know, pick out any like top 10 moments in it, man.
Yeah, it didn't have that, like, you know, in episode 2 when Rick does the thing with the barcode on the inside of his butt.
Oh, fucking hilarious.
I laughed so hard at that, and that like fucking stuck with me for the next couple days, that was so funny. And they didn't have that one thing. But yeah, I mean, I like the episode still. And yeah, I like the message. And that scene you're talking about where they were cutting up everybody in the bar was great, because if you're a fan of Hellraiser at all, like it's
very
exactly
Hellraiser-ish.
Yeah, and like Hellraiser 3, I think that happens, and that Hellraiser 3 is the one that has the most dumb characters. With like one guy is just
that's the one
camera on his head.
Right. That because I know right before this episode, because obviously we've seen the promo and stuff, I watched Hellraiser 1. You know what I mean? Just to get it back in, you know, go familiar, you know, because it's been years since I watched Hellraiser, let's be honest. And I was like, okay, you know, got you know, got the Lamanche box, you know what I mean? You got Pinhead, you know what I mean? You got the Cenobites, you got the whole, you know, basic, you know, scenario of it. And then afterwards I watched 2 and 3 and I was like, oh, this is just absurd. I was like, they went, okay. And you know, but I felt like the characters from 2 and 3 fit so much more into, you know, the Cenobites used for Rick and Morty.
Yeah, because it gets really corny. And I've only seen the first 3 so far, but being on a horror channel, I usually end up keep going with the
yeah, it kind of comes with the territory.
I'm on Leprechaun 5 right now, and man,
Leprechauns for 1 and 2 I loved. But my favorite's got to be, you know, no matter how corny it is, Leprechaun in the Hood, man. That's my favorite one.
Man, that's 5. That's the last one I watched, I think.
Oh well,
5?
Shit.
Might be, but man, like, yeah, I've heard that In the Hood 2 is like kind of good too, but I haven't
seen that one, man.
Been there yet.
I didn't even know there was a 2.
It's called Back to the Hood.
Oh shit! See, now I didn't even know that was a 2. Now I have to watch it just because I like the first one so much. Man.
I think it's number 7 or whatever, but yeah, it's called Back to the Hood. But anyways, you know, I end up watching these terrible movies. You know, it doesn't matter how bad they get, I end up watching them just. I have the knowledge for the channel, so it helped me a lot.
Right there. Bam.
Yeah, there you go. It helped me a lot coming into this episode, having the background on that, and it made me laugh more at them because like they're corny and there's like they're dumb. Yeah, they're like especially the scene where, you know, the guy is going through the guest list and he's like, "Oh, I assume your name is like Marlon Chest." Whatever. And he's like, "Oh, you're Kovac head, right?" And it's like, because that's what they are, and right. Like they're not always. That's not the name of the character.
Yeah, because like Pinhead is actually not even like his name. I think his actual name is like Hell Priest or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never ended up naming him or something like that. So
in the original movie, he's credited as just lead Cenobite.
Right.
It wasn't until like later when people started calling him Pinhead that they were
Right.
like,
And it
okay,
was
well,
like 2 and 3, by
Yeah.
that time. Yeah. Quick fun fact on that: the actor who played Pinhead, I don't know if you know this, had a great relation with the cast. Right after they did the first Hellraiser movie, they threw a cast party and he wasn't invited. He didn't know why. Come to find out, nobody on the cast actually knew what he looked like because he was always in costume.
I didn't know that. I forgot what his name is. His first name is Doug, right?
I forgot it. I forgot his name, man.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I do know his name, but
so you
I'm
can throw that back.
bad,
You know what I'm saying?
bad
Whenever y'all do next Hellraiser, man, there you got a fucking fact that they might not know.
name. That's cool. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, that would be good.
So, like you said, it was a fast episode, real blended in. Didn't have too many key moments, and it's reached us to the halfway point of season 5, and that's basically where we're at now. I've had and seen a lot of negativity towards the first half of this season, and I've seen the stand strong, positivity of the first half of this season. My personal opinion, as a Rick and Morty fan, not saying I'm more of a fan than the next person. From episode 1 to now, I've loved it. Big fan of adult animation. I've mentioned, I'm a big fan. South Park. Simpsons. And what the Simpsons? I'm not too sure how many seasons Simpsons are, like 17 or something like that. Something close to that.
Seasons of The Simpsons?
Yeah.
They're on like 34.
Okay, fuck. You know what I mean? Okay, so 34, right? I probably watched maybe 17. You know what I mean? I've missed so many, and they're all random. All random. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They follow a continuity, they follow a canon, but at the end of the day, it's random. Episode to episode is random. South Park, Family Guy, everything. It's all continuity. There's all a canon, but it's all random. And that's exactly what Rick and Morty is. And I think some people have just gotten so used to it being a constant in a row canon story that they forgot about just the crazy random. Sometimes we're just going to have a crazy episode type shit that may come back later on or it may not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I see Rick and Morty as like Rick and Morty is like a sounding board for all the ideas that Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland and all of their friends and wacky personalities they bring in. Like they come in and they say, like, I have an idea for a show. Like what if like it's like a Hellraiser and they do this and they say, okay, cool. Now let's fit it into Rick and Morty and we'll make it center around what they're doing. And if you watch Dan Harmon, like Community does have a canon and stuff like that, and they do bring things up, but it's very much like, hey, this one's the paintball episode. We're just going to do wacky things with paintballs and stuff like that, and it's just like Interdimensional Cable. They had one a couple seasons,
right?
It's not important what the history of the characters are very often. There's some things they'll go through, but a lot of it is like, hey, I got an idea. Let's do an episode on, teenage heartbreak. And then you're like, okay, we'll do a breakup and we'll have Morty break up with this character. And that's the way it is. And that's the way that Justin Roiland's mind works, especially. I think anything canon is probably more Dan Harmon than it is Roiland.
And I agree with that. I agree with that completely. Cause even the episodes that are just crazy, like the episodes, the incest baby episode. The episode was just crazy all over the place, right? You got the chuds, you got, an incest baby, you got, these alien sperm, a sperm queen, you know what I mean? You got all this craziness going on, right? And yet they still fit moments. Even if you don't understand them now and you understand them at episode 10, they still fit canon moments inside of these episodes. So it's like, I think it's just overly high expectations at times, and just impatience. I would say impatience because I know, this throw the elephant, talk about the elephant in the room. Everybody wants to know about Evil Morty. There are a million speculations on Evil Morty. Now, before I ask you what yours is, I've heard everything from this Morty now is the Evil Morty. I've heard Evil Morty, is in a hideout, somewhere with Beth, or not Beth, but Diane. I've heard a lot of things, man. So when it comes to Evil Morty, what is your take, and how does he fit into this season? If he fits into this season.
Well, the problem is my theory, my overwhelming theory is that we'll never get Evil Morty again until maybe the last episode, whatever they're doing at the end. We're never going to get that real Evil Morty thing. We might get Evil Morty at the behind the scenes of another episode. He'll pop in and he'll do something like that, but I don't think they're at all interested in giving that to us. I know that Dan Harmon has gone on record as saying, people said, "Do you guys read what happens about Evil Morty online?" And he said, "No, I don't read online fan theories." And he's like, "The reason I don't is because if someone comes up with a theory, I'm immediately not going to do that because that means that someone got it right already."
Right, and he wants it to be completely random.
There's no way he hasn't seen some of these things.
Oh, no, or at least heard.
So I bet that he has no idea what he's going to do with it. I bet he's like, you know what? I'm not even going to fucking think about it. That's my theory. If I had a theory that I think is going to happen, if I was totally wrong about that, I do like the theory that Morty is the original, Rick's original Morty. We screwed things up with him.
Right.
Maybe whatever he did with the Evil Morty is what led to his wife's demise. Maybe he did something careless and it led to his wife's demise, and that's why Evil Morty is trying to get back at him. That's the one I like the most and the one that I feel like fits the most.
Right.
But honestly, if I think it's way more likely we get something really dumb, like Evil Morty shows up and then gets like shot through the head immediately as he's on screen, and then we never find out anything about it. Like I feel like that's something they're more comfortable with, is saying like, "Hey, you guys really want this? Fuck you, we're giving you something different." Can I swear on this show?
Oh, you're gonna fucking absolutely swear, bro. Okay.
It's funny, in my real life, I don't swear a ton, but online, I swear a ton.
No, man. No, I do, man. I do think that the whole theory of, Rick's, the original Morty being Evil Morty, there are some moments that, like, I kind of question it because, like, when we watched the whole Evil Morty episode, supposedly C-137, Rick and Morty were, in Atlantis, getting them some mermaid pussy and shit, which, later on canons back to our boy, Mr. Nimbus, who was highly upset about it, which, speaking of Mr. Nimbus, man, since we're on the topic of, the first half of the season, it's got to be, in my opinion, one of the best characters of the first half, if not the fucking, 5 seasons. Now, there's a few good ones, man. There's a few good ones, but Nimbus is definitely up there, bro.
Yeah. I mean, the new season gave us Planetina as well, which a lot of people really like. We got all sorts of crazy Ricks. I really like the crazy horror-looking Rick that was part of the multiple clones.
Yep. Like nobody knows what he was really, like the Scarecrow.
Yeah, it was weird. Nobody knows what to call that guy. So I mean, but this character was so good. Mr. Nimbus was so good, and like the way they animated him, like he was clearly well thought out. Like,
there he goes.
Look at that junk.
And that's how he saves the day. You know what I mean? He's not dancing. That's how he saves the day.
Even when he controls the police, he's doing that. He's like,
he's just gyrating. Yeah. I meant to get that GIF, where it zooms in on him as he's doing it, and Oh my god, man, that
Well,
whole episode is just fucking amazing, man.
I guess Mr. Nimbus has been in the works for a long time.
They said since season 2. He was
Yeah,
a write off since season 2.
they wanted him to fit into so many things, and they finally found it. So that doesn't mean, I mean, that means they're passionate about that character.
Yep.
And it also means that character can come back because it's Dan Harmon's voice.
Yep.
So it's easy to bring him back. But also, like, being passionate about the character, they probably thought of so many things for him. They probably came up with so many ideas. I bet there's things about Mr. Nimbus that we don't know yet. So if we see him again.
Well, there was a lot of like subtle, I guess if you want to read into it, there was a lot of like subtle subliminals. You know, when him and Rick were arguing, there was mentions of Diane. So obviously he knew Diane. Maybe he knows what happened to Diane. You know what I'm saying?
He knew about Kyle.
He knew about Kyle. Kyle.
I think it was Kyle.
Which I'm curious. I'm curious about Kyle. Will Kyle come back? Will we hear about Kyle?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe he has something to do with Evil Morty. We never know.
And he built a big backstory, even saying that they were friends and then they were enemies because of something that happened.
Because of something that happened, but they never mentioned what actually happened.
Yeah.
Shouts out to his starfish that died in that episode, man. He was like, "Look, man, don't make it weird. Just sign the contract."
Yeah. Yeah. And he had such a plain, regular voice, which was great.
Oh, just absolutely. Just, it wasn't overmasculated. You know what I mean? He wasn't feminized. He was just real smooth, man. Just a real smooth guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's fucking, he's the king of the ocean. He controls the police, man. Like, what else do you need?
The other thing now is, did he have sex with Beth and Jerry? Is that what happened? Like,
I'm assuming so. I mean, they watch porn together. You know what I mean? Like, I'm assuming so.
That's what it looked like at the end. So, like, that will forever tie him into the Smith history. So, man, yeah.
One take I did. I think they kind of led up to the halfway point from episode 1 of this season to now. Constant shots at Marvel. Dan Harmon as well as Justin Roiland have a sour spot for Marvel because they keep, as they say, taking all the writers. They say low key is nothing but an action series, Rick and Morty, because you got so many writers on that. I think they got writers on She-Hulk. I think they have writers on Black Widow. So there's so many writers on Marvel that got taken from Rick and Morty, which says a lot, So the constant shots at Marvel, but I think one of the best one actually was in this episode when they mentioned Galactus. And what's so funny about this is the fact that Marvel has yet to fight fuck Flea, man. You gotta love it. Marvel has yet to bring Galactus in and have that whole spill. So for the fact that Rick and Morty just brought an alien god, that eats, galaxies in and have it killed by his ship, man, it was pretty fucking funny when you think about the shot they take to, Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, they were bang on with the whole Loki thing. Like, but Loki also, in the Loki show, they call the variants C and a number. They have doorways that look very square, just like in this season when Morty had the remote there. Everything is about, the whole thing is about timelines and variants. So the whole idea behind Loki is very Rick and Morty-esque. So I mean, they can't. And the other thing is, Marvel is the biggest punching bag in the industry right now because
absolutely
they're on top. They shit out movies that do better than anything.
And it doesn't help that DC and WB and the Snyderverse are going through a whole battle right now. You know what I mean? So Marvel is just like, it's just free game. Which to me, to be honest, man, it's like I love the whole Marvel movies. I'm not big fans of the series. I just think it's kind of just like, I mean, some of them are good. I'm yet to finish Loki. Not a big fan of the Winter Soldier and the Falcon. I did like WandaVision, but I think it's just like airspace. You know what I mean? Like they're just filling airspace. You know, until they figure out what their next like big plan is. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I liked Loki. I liked WandaVision. I haven't finished Falcon and Winter Soldier because I found that was just kind of like random action that
yeah,
it's just kind of. I mean, I recently saw Black Widow and I loved it when I was watching it.
yeah.
I thought it was a great movie watching it, but thinking back on it now, I'm like, what did I like about that movie? Did I just get marveled again? Like,
Yeah.
it got marveled again. I don't like. I enjoyed it, but what's the substance? What did I gain from that? Like, I just got popcorn
marveled.
flicked for a couple hours, and I'm not any better for it now. So
And it doesn't help that me and a best friend of mine and we got a personal beef with Anthony Mackie, so we're not too fond, you know what I mean, of
you don't like Anthony
Sam.
Mackie?
No, we got a personal beef with him, man. The homie. Long story short, man, he's not a people person, and he was very disrespectful to my partner, man. You know what I'm saying? So
okay.
Shouts out to my partner, but so like I said, man, a lot of hate on the first half. Overall, I thought it was really good, man. I thought it was, it bounced all over the place. We still don't know, in my opinion, we still don't really know what the fuck's going on in this season. To be completely honest, there was big talks about the portal gun not being used. Now, the portal gun in this last episode was used. However, they weren't seen used. Now, I don't know if that's just like a pun to the fans because it has been a big talk of portal gun usage or non-usage, or is there something behind it? Who knows? But I know that's been a big topic of discussion, man. Like in some of the fan boards, is the fact of the portal gun. Another one is, are they still decoys? Or is this really the real family, or is this a decoy family and we haven't, seen the real family yet? Which would lead to, a big, season finale, I guess, if that was the case. But I don't really think that's the case, man. I think this is the family.
Yeah. I can't see them being decoys again. I think they're done with that after that episode.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if at the end of, the episode, like it was just the whole season was just a dream or something. Like they could do something dumb like that. But I don't think I think then they have to write that off. I mean, in the first season they did that, right? Because in the first season, the first 6 episodes are a different reality other than Rick and Morty than everyone else. Morty,
yeah.
Right?
Or they traveled through different universes, that ended up switching Ricks and Morty. Because think about like the episode where they went to Blitz and Chips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they ended up switching Jerry's because Morty lost a ticket. That shit's happened. They've been they've had to abandon their timeline and go into a different timeline. You know what I mean? So I know one harp about the portal gun and the fact of it being used was the fact that in the first episode where Nimbus saved him, he lost his portal gun. He gets by them big ass falcons and shit. He loses his portal gun, right? It shows it in it. And if you go back to the episode where they had to dig up the bodies to find the portal gun to use it, a lot of people are just like, well, if you had to find a portal gun, how did he just come up with a portal gun? You know what I'm saying? So that's a little fan, theory or conspiracy, I should say, that's going around. But like I said, is obviously a portal has been used.
Yeah.
So was it a portal gun or was it just another way of Rick, doing something? Because like he tells Jerry when Jerry's fucking with the box and Jerry's like, how do I use it? He tells him, Jerry, it's a box from hell. Just twist it till it starts bleeding.
Yeah. Well, that happened, but I know when they went to hell, they went through doorway that the Cenobites used.
Yes, that
Because it's a big
that they went
fiery
into hell.
looking
Right.
gate, right?
Because that's the same door they went in and out of hell. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Because
remember
they only use the portal to go from the house to the bar. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because Rick's fucking lazy. Because remember, he left the ship at the house.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That I guess they would have had to do that to leave the ship. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Yeah, and why did Morty have this little clicker that made that big square door? Like, I don't understand why they did that instead of the portal gun.
Yeah.
My prediction was that
shit.
I was predicting before the season started when we saw that in the trailer that would be Morty's portal gun that he has is that one, but it hasn't shown up again. So
no, it hasn't.
As for this season, though, like I feel the same way that where I'm seeing lots of hate for it, but I always count the hate as, it's just the fact that people that are happy with the season are like, yeah, cool, yeah, click the like button, yeah, no, I liked it. But the people that hate it are like going to every single page, every single conversation, be like, no, man, this season sucks. They're doing this, blah, 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 and they're whining about. But they're just so vocal, right? They're the vocal minority, right?
Yeah, I guess so, man. I mean, that's or at least they're trying to be. But like I said, they're all over the place. They're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're on Reddit.
Yeah,
you're not going to get rid of them. Nobody's going to get rid of them. They're always going to be there. Let's see what they said. Lee says the majority are talking about Rick's character art. Yeah, I can see that.
Rick is really odd because Rick is the character that we want to see him change and do things, but like every time he gets emotional or something, he just shows you that he was just kidding. I'm actually still just a fucking badass Rick. Yeah. He doesn't have character progression like Summer is getting a lot more crazy and sexual this season, and she's definitely trying to express herself as becoming a woman. Morty stands up for himself and tells Rick to fuck off all the time, and
he wants to be more like individualized, it seems.
Yeah, and he goes back and he's like, you know what, I'm going to go back and kick Hoofy's ass or whatever, One
thing I do like about Rick's story though, because like you said, there's not much progression that comes to Rick's storyline, but then they'll hit you with like one episode that'll like progress him for like the whole season.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like the old man in the seat. Or you think of like the Unity episode, and you know what I mean? Like there's always like that one episode that'll just progress Rick like just so much. So I'm curious if we're gonna get one of those this season. We might not. I don't know. Maybe we already have and we don't know it. Maybe that was the Nimbus episode. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But back to the haters real quick, man. I just got one message for them, bro.
This is the right to say what we want.
Shut
when you think about it.
So that's how I feel about all the haters out there, man. You know what I mean? So you're right to to voice your opinion, but that's just how I feel about it, man.
Yeah, but if you're being constructive about your criticism, that's okay. If you're just hating on it, like the other thing is when some people will be like, Rick and Morty hasn't been good since season 2, and you'll be like,
right.
That was fucking 8 years ago.
Bro, that was that was almost a decade ago. Why are you still watching it? You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing. And then it's like now, I don't know how it is. Maybe, I don't know if it's just me, here in Atlanta, but like they switch Cartoon. I have Xfinity, so they switch Cartoon Network to like a premium package. You got to pay more for it. So if you're out here in like the Georgia area hating on Rick and Morty, I don't understand it because you're paying for that shit. You know what I'm saying? You're paying extra for that shit. So, don't pay for it and you won't have to see it, man. But, I enjoy the big incest babies. I enjoy, sperm queens. I enjoy all of it, man. You know what I mean? There's not much I don't enjoy. I'm just a fan. Like I said, I like the randomness of it. I've loved it so far. I think the randomness of it now is it's a little, as much as people don't want to believe it, I think it's more of on a little more sophisticated level, to where you actually have to think about the episodes and how it relates to it just being straight in your face type randomness. And I don't really think a lot of people want to think about it. That's a possibility. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, because there are a lot of episodes where you just gotta like you stated on your spot, you know what I mean? Like you got to go back and watch it. You got to go back and watch it more, more than once to really get the message in this season. And I feel like this season and some of last season was really like that. In the first like 1, 2, and 3 third seasons, you could just watch them like first time and boom, like it's all good. Like you got it, So,
Yeah.
I mean, yep. I agree with Josh right here. He says that's what makes the show good. There's so many layers of comedy, and he's true, man. Like if you're just a single-minded type comedy lover, you only like dry comedy, or you like standout humor, like what? This is probably not the show for you. And I don't know how you made it 5 seasons, but this is probably not, man, because it is very off the wall. You're never gonna know, even when you think you know what's gonna happen, you don't know what happens. And when you do know what happens, he's gonna make you uncomfortable for feeling like you knew what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like I like that uncomfortableness.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Like Rick and Morty is like it's this sandbox that they play in. It's kind of like what I said earlier, but like it's the difference is like every other show is like, here, look at this castle I made. Look at this castle I made. And Royland's like, look, I made a giant fucking pussy in the sand or something. Like what he's doing is way different than what other people are doing.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm happy for that.
You
know what I'm saying? I hope they push the limits so far to where it's just, it is what it is. And, you're either going to lose a bunch of fans because they just grossed out or they're just turned off, or you're going to gain a bunch of fans because they're going to be like, yo, this show's off the fucking wall. I got to watch it every week, even though it's just random. You know what I'm saying?
No, they did. I mean, they're definitely not worried about the fans. They've made so many political jokes this season. They're not worried about losing fans. They've been, definitely not. Speaking
of political jokes, I'm so glad they brought the president back. I forgot his name, Keith David. Keith David. Oh, I fucking love Keith David. So I'm happy they brought him back. Some of the voice characters they've had on here, Carrie Walgren, the fucking voice of fucking a million voices. You know what I mean? Carrie Walgren. Oh, I'm so glad they had her on there. What you got, Lee? It's to hear that Rick and Morty's been saying I love you too. Oh yeah, it is to hear him say I love you, because he doesn't. But you know what? He has said I love you a lot in this season, but there's always a catch to it. Like you know what I mean? Like with Jerry, he's like, oh, you do love me. He's like, nah, I love her and she loves you, and I can't trade those coins in. You know what I mean? Like so it's like there's always a catch to it. Like it's always an I love you, but.
He brought Summer along with him. He's like my favorite grandkid because Morty said no. So,
which I'm curious to see if that relationship evolves. The Summer, which before we get into the second half, 1 out of 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. What would you rate the first 5 episodes?
I'm gonna say 8. There hasn't been one that stood out as my favorite of the season yet, which means there's got to be one that sticks out. By the end of the season, there's always one where I'm like, man, that was the best of the season. And because of that, I can't bump it higher than an 8. It's got to be 8 to 10.
He said Reddit saying now that season 3 is better. Look, man, they're going to say it. They're going to say when this season's over and season 6 comes out, they're gonna say that season 5 was so much better than season 6, and how this and that. So you can't even listen to them, man.
Please shut up.
That's how you gotta fucking take it, man. But so you said 8 out of 10. I'd probably say about a 7.5, man. Great. I think the opening episode with Nimbus definitely set the mood. Solid. In my opinion, the most solid start of all 5 seasons. It carried on into the Mortyplicity. Got a little weird. I think episode 3 definitely divided people. You know, I think that episode definitely divided people. Episode 4, you know, it was just a kind of a bland episode, to be honest. And then we have episode 5, which strong message, but like you said, really no standout points. Um, so yeah, man,
You know
I
what I found?
was
Uh,
that
This season has the best after credit scenes.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Like
Especially
that.
just this last one where they fucking old Bruce Chutt pants, where they gave him, the old beat down, man. Like that was just completely hilarious. I thought I had an image of it somewhere. I thought I did, but I don't.
Well, with that,
Yeah,
Jerry being tortured was hilarious when he
the
was
wooden Jerry.
the wooden Jerry. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
hilarious,
hilarious.
hilarious.
The Nimbus after one was obviously Nimbus having sex with Beth and Jerry, which was pretty odd. And what was there was
The
another
other one
one
was with the alien son and dad, and they had sex with each other. You know what I mean? Yeah, like the endings of this episode, the ending credits of this episode have definitely
been
been
great.
fucking worth it, man.
Yeah.
Um, I did a quick ranking of my personal 5 through 1 of this first season. So, I'm gonna just shoot out those real quick.
10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So at number 5, I personally rated, the episode with Planetina. I don't know why I don't have all these names on me by heart. Oh yeah, a Rick Convenient Mort. Rick Convenient Mort. I labeled at number 5. At number 4, I did Rick the Pen and Spray, which was episode 5. At number 3, I did. Oh no, this was episode 5.
This was 5. That was 4. Yeah.
Amortycan Grickffiti. I had this at number 3. Number 2, definitely Multiplicity. And at number 1, hands down, More Dinner, Rick Andre, Mr. Nimbus, man. That's my personal, that's my personal top 5 right there for the first half of the season. I know yours is probably different, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would have the Planetina episode higher than that. I would probably have these last 2 would be the bottom. 4 and 5 would be the bottom.
Yeah.
And then probably 3, 2, 1. It could almost go reverse order, which sounds really
it honestly can. It honestly can almost go in reverse order. The only reason I put Amortycan Grickffiti at number 3 is just because I'm just a big fan of horror movies, man. You know what I mean? And the fact of the whole, like I said, man, the whole being lame is lame, for trying to make fun of lame people. You know what I mean? Like that shit, was just, funny to me. But yeah, man, the Nimbus episode had to be number 1. Like that's by far, and like you said, it could easily go, top to bottom, in reverse order. You know what I mean? I definitely
that's where it
agree with
went
that.
first. Yeah.
Which hopefully, if that's the case, that means, we go from being that we're at the bottom, we go back from bottom to top.
Yeah, maybe we'll get we'll get
You know
that.
Maybe we started on a high note, kind of sink down, and then we're coming back. I don't know, man. Maybe they wanted to do the climax in reverse order.
It could be. I mean, you never know. I remember kind of feeling that way about season 4.
Right.
Season 3 is my favorite. So everyone who's like, "Oh, season 3 is better," season 3 is my favorite season so far to date. But I feel the same way about season 4. I remember thinking episode 4 and 5 were kind of dipping a little bit, but the second half came back so strong. In season 4.
Strong. The last 2 episodes of season 4 were just. I have a buddy of mine, at the ACS University. He was binge watching the last couple of months, Rick and Morty, and he's about to get caught up on. He's about to end season 4, and he texted me. He was like, "Man, this shit is is dope, man." Like I was like, "Yeah." I was like, he was on season 4, episode 6. And I told him, I was like, wait till you get to the last 2 episodes of season 4, man. That shit is just fucking, it's just raw material, man.
Yeah, man. The Glorzo episode,
Oh my god, glory to Glorzo, man.
the Vat of Acid episode, which won a lot of awards and things like that.
Yep.
And then having Space Beth and
what's so
Phoenix
crazy about that
person.
season, man? It was like the Vat of Acid episode won so many awards for its material.
Yeah.
And that was probably honestly like one of my least favorite of the season. Not saying it wasn't good. It was just my least favorite of the season because there was so many good episodes in that season. You know what I mean? So
it was weird because it had that moment where they were using the clicker.
Yeah.
And Morty fell in love and everything.
Yep, and he had that whole story.
Yeah,
that was actually fucking.
That was like
just to find out he killed like 1 million Mortys.
It was So, anyways, So I think we're gonna get a bunch of new stuff, and people are gonna like it. I did write a few things that we're gonna get in the second half.
I want to hear it.
When we see the trailers, the things that we haven't seen yet, and I don't know. Did you see episode 7 when it leaked?
I did.
Okay.
We did see that, and I did have just like you did. I did have a little spoiler episode, and hey, man, it's gonna make a lot of sense to a lot of things later on.
Yeah.
So that's the best way I can put it.
We know that's all the things that have to do with the GoBot Voltron thing are in that episode.
Correct.
But we also in the trailer see what looks to be like an old guy in a tuxedo buried under rubble, and Rick and all the family is there when he died or whatever happened.
Yeah.
So we don't know what that is. I'm predicting that maybe there's a clue episode, like who killed this man or something like that. We see Morty get thrown out of a limo. I don't remember. Do you know what was that in that episode?
It wasn't. It wasn't.
I don't think it was.
I watched it today. I don't remember seeing that part.
Okay.
So there is that.
Morty seems to be wearing a tuxedo in that.
So those two episodes could be related.
So that could be related.
Right.
And then there's a giant turkey army that it shows Rick and American President back and Morty taking on a giant turkey. And earlier on, it shows some turkeys who look like regular turkeys, but with shotguns.
With shotguns, yep.
So we're going to see something where for some reason, Thanksgiving wise, or maybe something.
Which if you think about it, like the next episode, what is it called? It's called Rick and Morty's Thanksploitation Spectacular.
There you go.
So that could be this next episode coming up. Morty, because Morty did fucking shoot the thing at the Statue of Liberty and make it into this big ass monster. So who knows? He could have shot a fucking turkey. It is Morty.
So I don't know. I don't know. I hope they make a joke about National Treasure somewhere in there after shooting up the museum.
I will tell you what I need answers about that's in the trailer that we have not seen yet.
God damn! Thanks, Noob. This guy gets it.
I need answers on why motherfucking Noob is being resuscitated. And then you see in the background, you got like a hand on the wall, like a blown up hand on the wall. You know what I mean? So I need answers. I need answers soon on Noob and his status. You know what I mean?
I don't know if that's going to happen. I think those might be the things that happen in the opening that you never see.
Yeah.
Like it's always half of them. It's usually every other one.
It's usually every other one. Yeah.
Now in this one, it's not every other one because some of the things that happen are back to back in this opening. But
yeah, I need answers on Noob, man.
Yeah, you're probably much more worried about that than how Morty wins a golf tournament or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But I think I mean we're gonna get something that's going to probably have another moral dilemma. It's probably going to deal with something to do with if it's exploitation Thanksgiving special. Maybe it's going to have to do with maybe it's going to have to do with taking over other nations and things like that we're dealing with today. I don't know what it's going to have to do with. What do you call? I don't know what a good word for that is, but you know, a lot of people are upset about things happening in the world and that are like history things that are coming up right now in Canada.
Yeah.
It's a really big thing right now that we're finding out some things in Canada's history that's not so great.
Well, he did. What did he say? He was like the Statue of Liberty was really an assassin. And he
Yeah,
woke him
and
up.
yeah, and don't and he said never trust the French, which is great.
So
but yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know, there's exploitation, like you said, maybe some type of exploitation. What kind of exploitation? I don't. We know by now. Any fan that's knows and really watches the show knows by now the cold open, which we've never gotten before up until this point, but the promos and the cold open apply nothing to the episode. Like it could either completely stay with it or it can completely veer to the left and have nothing to do with the cold open and mention it for like 2 seconds at the end.
Yeah, the cold opens in Rick and Morty have usually been almost nothing, but this year we see them early.
Yes.
Whereas before we just got
They've
them
been coming out like
so it doesn't
Fridays.
matter. Yeah, so it's interesting that I love that they're doing that. And
yeah, I am too. I think for people like us that we do this shit, I think it just helps us get a little head start.
It creates content for us to talk about, right?
Yeah, it just keeps it going.
Stuff for us to post about,
Yep.
stuff for us to think about.
It definitely helps with the promo.
We get to talk about it right now, right? So it's creating content for us right now.
There you go. So we don't know what to expect in the second half. Obviously, we could sit here and say what we want. You know what we think is going to happen. Like you mentioned earlier, any theory that Dan Harmon may have heard or may expect, he's going to go completely away from that. But if you had the option of choosing anything, what prediction, what theory, what conspiracy do you hope to see or come about or at least be mentioned in the second half of this season?
The one I think we're most likely to see is what happens with Bird Person.
Phoenix Person.
Phoenix Person now, yeah. Has become that's become a character they have gone back to.
Yes.
He's been in 3 or 4 episodes. Maybe
as far as we know, he's still in Rick's garage.
Yeah, he's hanging up there like Cyborg was when his dad was repairing him.
Another nod to Marvel.
Yeah, pretty well, the DC, but for this one. But,
oh yeah, DC. My bad.
But yeah, it did look kind of like the wall when Cyborg was being put together. But I feel like that's a character they lean on and they like to have in there. Just like Mr. Poopy Butthole is another character. There's not so many of them that they like to go back to.
Yeah.
But Bird Person is one of them. So I think that's the most likely thing we'll get that people want resolved. I don't think Evil Morty will be.
I don't see him being mentioned.
Yeah, I think if we get him, it'll be in one of the next. It won't. I don't think it'll be at the end of the season. I think it'll be one of the other episodes for a minute, maybe.
Well, we got 5 seasons left still, minimum.
Yeah, 6.
6.
6. There should be 11 seasons if the contract goes all the way to it's done. Yeah.
Lee says maybe the Tuxedo Morty and Noob Noob belong to episode 6.
It's possible.
Maybe.
Who shot Noob Noob?
I need to know who. Maybe it was that motherfucking Mr. Hunt Me Down. I don't know, man. I need answers. What the fuck happened to Noob Noob, man?
That character was sinister, man.
I need answers. He can't go. Noob Noob can't go.
Oh! Damn you, Roger! Damn it! Damn you!
Noob Noob can't go because that's how I'm gonna be fucking the whole time. Fucking damn you, Noob Noob.
Noob Noob's my wife's favorite character, so that will be a big deal in my household.
It was Mr. Poopy Butthole. You know, shouts out to him.
You sons of bitches.
But then Noob Noob came along, you know, and I just, you know, he had a whole concert for him, you know what I mean? But then I started rewatching over and over and over, just like all of us, I think, did at one point, waiting for season 5 to come out. And Right now, outside of the Smith family, Sanchez family, for me, it's got to be Scary Terry. Anybody that ends any sentence with "bitch" on a constant basis, I'm all for him, bro. Like even when Morty was like, we got you, dog. Here's some pants. He's like, oh, thanks, bitch, and he gave him a hug. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like you got a little Scary Terry. But if not Scary Terry, then it's got to be my boy Sleemy Pants. Sleemy Pants don't fuck around, man. He don't even like doing his job. And if he has to come out there, he's probably gonna beat your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I actually have the clip of Sleemy Pants whooping when they time travel to the snake.
Yep.
And they're whooping his ass. I actually have the actual footage of that right here.
I'm back up.
Yeah, man, that was actual footage of Sleemy Pants fucking him up, man. A lot of theories and conspiracies. Like you said, I don't see Evil Morty coming back, or at least not this season. I don't see Evil Morty coming back. I do hope to see Phoenix person in some sort. The only prediction I do see. And the only reason I do think we're going to get Noob is they are doing the Vindicator spinoff. And I think this is probably because, it's probably going to be a year before we get another Rick and Morty season. Who knows? They said they're already writing on season 7.
Yeah.
So who knows? But I'm going with the standard timeline. So a year and a half before we get a new Rick and Morty season. So I'm expecting the Vindicator spinoff to come out in between that. I think that's what they're doing. Maybe filling a gap, kind of like how they did with Solar Opposites. So I do think we'll get another Vindicators episode this season. If not, at least a reference, a short clip of Noob, dying maybe, leading up into the spinoff. Because obviously the spinoff has to be prior to, because, damn near all the Vindicators are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to Mr. Sanchez himself. So I'm curious to see that. I think that's one theory that might, come up. Conspiracy wise, though, this season, I ain't really got too many conspiracy. I think nah, I ain't got none.
I think something really interesting is that they have sprinkled in interdimensional cable episodes in almost every episode so far.
Right.
We had Morty mention interdimensional cable and say I got it. And then we see the Nintendo 69, which I laughed my ass off at. We had Wen Wolf, and we had
even in the last episode, they meant if on the TV when they're showing Bruce Chutpan, they had the story train.
So they always have interdimensional cable, which I think is trying to fool people into thinking they're doing that. But if you think about it, we got material for 3 more episodes here,
right?
Likely that we've seen in trailers. That leaves 2 that we have no information about. So is there going to still be interdimensional cable? Like they could be throwing us off so that we think they're doing it all the time, so they won't do another episode about it.
Or here's my conspiracy on it. Being that you mentioned it, here's my conspiracy. What if in the final episode of the season we find out we've been watching interdimensional cable the whole time?
That could be it. That could be it. I could see that. I mean, with how crazy the season's been, if they could purposely make this season so fucking crazy that at the end they're like, here's why, because
been watching interdimensional cable.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't put a large. I wouldn't say it was probable, but I think it's funny that they're leading us away from interdimensional cable by sprinkling little things in there, making us think that they won't do it, and then maybe they do it. So that would be my prediction: is that we possibly could see interdimensional cable because there's something missing that we haven't got any trailer info on.
There's still. The season is still missing the big bang. I think it started off with a bang, died out, and is slowly, gradually building momentum. and I do think it'll end with a bang. I do think by the end of this season, and we will be back together, at the end of this season, having this conversation. But I do feel like by the end of this season, we are going to be told or seen something that's just going to blow our mind. I do believe that.
They do, with all the things they don't like to do that are like regular TV tropes,
right?
They do like to do cliffhangers.
Yes. So, I don't put nothing past the creativity minds of Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon, let alone, the magnificent Jeff Loveness, Erica Hayes, everybody they have, on the writing team and the storyboard. I don't put nothing past none of them. They're all brilliant. They're fully capable of making shit happen and blowing our minds, But one thing, before we get to this, Lee, what you got? I think some of the side characters, such as Squanchy and Snowball, might die this season. Oh, we still don't have answers on if Squanchy's alive or dead or not.
We saw him go ballistic, but
the last time we seen Snowball was in the Story Train episode, when that little glimpse of him during the wars they had with Phoenix Person and stuff. But we obviously know that didn't happen because Phoenix Person and I can't remember her name. Phoenix Person's wife. They're both dead. So,
Tammy.
So obviously that war it's not going to happen. I'm assuming. I don't know, unless they revive Tammy and Phoenix Person turns evil again. So
yeah,
that's a possibility.
I have no idea. They have a medium where they can do anything they want because they can bring back alternate versions. They can bring people back to life. We could see things not, they could do anything. That's the best part about Rick and Morty is they can do anything,
whatever the fuck they want. So that's the part I don't understand why people get upset when they're, look, man, if you've never watched Rick and Morty, if you're new to it, if you just recently binge watch it, or if you just completely don't understand it, here is my best logic, my personal opinion. The show has canon. It has continuity. They have a storyline. But week by week, you will never know what is going to happen, how it's going to happen, or where it's going to happen. And somehow, some way, from episode 1 of that season to the last episode of that season, it may be all types of fucked up and crazy, but you will get the continuity and the canon you feel like you desire in the season. You got to watch it from front to end, though. If you don't watch it from front to end and you criticize it every episode or midway through, you're going to disappoint yourself. That's my best advice. You know what I mean? Watching the last decade of this shit, that's my best advice. Don't expect anything from the show other than just to sit there and just laugh at some fucking bullshit that probably a bunch of high ass writers fucking came up with.
It's not Everybody Loves Raymond. It doesn't have to take place. It doesn't have to take place in a house. These people don't have to be doing things these people don't have to go to their jobs. Like Jerry just doesn't have a job. How do they make money? I guess it's just Beth making all that money. Yeah. Nothing has to happen.
Well, she did say, when Morty said, why we got to stay at this boring hospital? He was like, this boring hospital pays your bill, pays your rent.
Yeah. And it's just but nothing has to happen, right?
No,
they don't. The creators don't have to think well, how are they going to make money for that? It doesn't matter. Rick can create whatever he wants.
Yeah, and there's no timeline on it. They take however fucking long they want. So
yeah. So
let them take however long they want, man. I'm cool with it. It's them taking long. It's it's part of the Rick and Morty timeline for me. When I talk about Rick and Morty timelines, I consider the gaps. You know what I'm saying? They play a factor.
Yeah.
But Yeah, man, it's been a great season so far, in our opinion. Obviously, um, we expect an even greater season. I'm looking forward to the characters that are going to come out because we all know Rick and Morty adds new characters every week. So I'm looking forward to the new characters, the storylines. I'm looking forward to the cringe of Jerry. Um, but before we get up out of here, man, there's something I do on my show after every episode, and it's a little moment. I guess not a moment of silence because it's not silent, but it's just a little tribute to the ones we lost in every episode. We lost a couple people in the bar. We lost a couple change formers, Galactus, some male Boxians and female Boxians. You know what I mean? We lost the space police, not to be confused with the time police. And we just lost a few, man. So before we go, you know what I mean? I just want to give a little tribute to the ones we lost, man. And right there at the end, man, that's probably my favorite one. The one right there, old Bruce Chuck Pants.
I'm glad
getting stomped out by the male Boxians, man.
I'm glad that you put me on mute during that because I was giggling and laughing the whole time.
Oh man, yeah, I don't have a choice that I'm at who does it because I'd be fucking rolling this whole time too. But yeah, man. I mean, that's pretty much it, man. Before we head up out of here, man. You got any shout outs you want to give? Anybody you want to mention?
No, I'm pretty selfish. I don't really care about anyone. Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, I mean, I'm glad. I was really glad to be able to be on your show. I love what you do. Like your clips and stuff like that are great. I love what you do, man. So keep on going with it. And hey, anytime you want me back, like I'll come on the show because it's fun stuff. I had a good time, and I'll have you on my show sometimes.
Oh yeah, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you accepted the offer to come on, man. Like I said, I've been watching you for a while now, and I've become a big fan, supporter of the show. Love your content. Love how you just you be yourself with it. Like I said, a lot of people do these things, man. A lot of people doing the same things, and it's hard to stay original. And like I said, man, you stay to yourself, especially doing live streams, man. I know it's tough. So major props for you to coming out, man. And like I said, we'll be back. We got a season finale still to talk about. You know what I mean? So we'll definitely get together for that, man. So like I said, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on, man. I do have a couple. And I got you at the Phantom Empire on YouTube, Twitter.
Yep.
That's your Twitter right there. I don't know if you have anything else you want to, anywhere else they can catch you at.
Yeah, you can go to the Rick and Morty fan show Facebook page. I operate a lot there. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I don't use Instagram a ton, but I am on Instagram and I post some of my stuff there. And yeah, on YouTube on Phantom Empire is where all of my stuff and more is. Like we got a really big. We're on almost every day of the week now. Like it's
you guys are, because I got y'all alerts on my phone, and I don't be doing shit half the time at work, man. So I just throw you guys on, bro, and like I just
we're on all the time. Like anything big horror comes on, like we're on it right away because we got a really big horror fan base. But we also do Marvel stuff.
Are y'all gonna do the Clive Barker? I mean, not the Clive Barker, the M. Night Shyamalan shit that's coming out.
I saw the movie that came out.
Yeah, the one that I don't know if it's came out already or it's coming out.
It's coming out this week. It's called Old. Right?
Yeah. Are y'all gonna do? Did y'all already do something on that?
We didn't do anything about that. I actually we haven't heard a lot of news about that. We did talk a lot about Quiet Place 2, which just came out.
Okay.
But this one is, I don't know. I don't think anyone in our whole group really is a big M. Night Shyamalan fan. So
Fair enough.
I liked it when his first few movies came out. I liked them, but I felt like there was too much of a pattern. Going on later.
There definitely is, man. But yeah, definitely. Hey, if you haven't already, go check them out at Fandom Empire. Like I said, if you're a fan of anything that has a fandom, Star Wars, horror films, Rick and Morty, you can find them there, man. Him and his crew, very, very fucking entertaining, very informal. Just a group of guys just doing what they do, how they want to do it, man, and no rules, none of that,
That's pretty much it. Yeah,
that's it, man.
We're shooting the shit.
That's what I try to do myself, man. And you can find me on Instagram, RickleMePick, the original NR, YouTube. You can find me at NR Originals, Twitter and Twitch. You can find me at NR_Originals, which it's on both of these right now. Hey man, it's been an awesome show. I'm so glad I got to chop it up with you. This has been something that I've been trying to do with you for a minute. And I'm finally glad that with the halfway point that we've reached, we were able to do this, man. So let's pencil in the season finale. Oh yeah, we definitely gonna get in there, man. But until then, make sure all the Rick and Morty fans, catch episode 506. Rick and Morty's Thanksploitation Spectacular. We talked about it a little earlier. We gave our theories and conspiracies on it, but I'm sure any episode that starts off with the Statue of Liberty coming alive, I'm sure it's gonna have some fun in it, man. So make sure you catch that this weekend, Sunday, 11 p.m. Eastern time on Adult Swim, and then you can find me back here next week. You can find Kieron back here next week. Are you doing the instant review again on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing the instant reaction. So
okay. So
right after the episode drops, about 5 minutes in the middle, and then I'll be on YouTube. So
there you go. Catch them on the Fandom Empire. About 5-10 minutes after the episode's over, man. You know what I mean? Go ahead and subscribe now, so that way you don't miss out, man. But until then, until the next time, Kieron, until the next episode, until next week. I appreciate everybody coming out, man. It's been fun. I'll see you.